Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account from the relationship advice subreddit, and it says, I 22 female believe my boyfriend 28 male might be tampering with my toothbrush. Ooh. This is probably the weirdest and most disgusting thing I've ever typed. But I think I'm slowly realizing my boyfriend has been doing something really fucked up. We've been together for about a year and a half. He's always been a little passive aggressive when he's upset. He won't talk things through. He just gets quiet or moody and gives me the silent treatment, or accuses me of trying to continue arguments when I'm trying to hash things out until the conversation ends. He loves to reset and act like an issue or disagreement never happened. Anyway, a few months ago, I started noticing my toothbrush was being moved. It's electronic and it would be off the charger on its side or the whole thing scooted back/forward. I thought it was just getting knocked around because our countertop is small. Eventually, I started noticing that it would be wet in the middle of the day or other times when I hadn't recently brushed my teeth. One time I noticed something on it like it had been used to clean grout. That's when I started keeping a small spare toothbrush hidden in my makeup bag, which was never moved or messed with. It's the part that really makes me feel sick. I finally confronted him after struggling to come to the reality that someone might be this disgusting and said something straightforward along the lines of, "Are you doing something to my toothbrush when you were mad at me?" And he just laughed and said, "You're crazy," and then refused to talk about it further. I don't even know how to process that. Like, what? I haven't seen him do it, so I don't have proof, but I know something's up. I feel crazy, but my gut is screaming at me that this is real, and he's getting back at me by putting my toothbrush in the toilet or something else gross. I haven't told anyone because it's honestly humiliating and gross, but I feel trapped between thinking I'm paranoid and realizing I might be with someone who would literally put my toothbrush in the toilet to get back at me. What do I even do? Oh no, not messing with the toothbrush. I mean, there's a lot going on around it as well with the manipulation, the response when you did call out that your toothbrush looked like it was being messed with, laughing it off and then gaslighting you. But the top comment on this one said, pretty much, just break up. The fact that he's moody and gives you the silent treatment is enough of a reason. It's immature and exhausting behavior. But if you have this gut feeling about your toothbrush, just trust it and leave. You don't need proof. You don't need a good enough reason. Also, his response is bogus. If my husband asked me if I had tampered with my toothbrush, I'd reassure him not to call him crazy. Then I'd give him a new toothbrush from my stash if he doubted his. His response of calling you crazy is just unkind and doesn't explain your legit concern. Does he gaslight you in other ways? There are so many men out there that you won't have to worry about this with. Just dump him. I hope he says, I think I already knew I was going to, but I needed reassurance to get the courage and I've been too embarrassed to talk about it in real life. He's asleep next to me right now. I haven't been able to sleep all night thinking about this dumb shit, so I made a throwaway. Lol. I don't know if he gaslights me, but he definitely believes there is give and take to everything. And if I upset him, then in turn he has full rights to retaliate towards me, whether he mentions the issue to me or not. He's demeaning and discourages me from attending classes. I don't know what I was holding on to our old friendship and feelings, I guess. I could tell he thought me realizing was genuinely funny. Ugh. Org says he discouraged you from attending classes. That's awful. Don't be with someone who holds you back. Also, him retaliating whenever you upset him is troubling. That suggests he wants to hurt you and is just waiting for a reason. Don't be with a guy who hurts you deliberately. You deserve to be treated kindly. She's the Saucer says, it shouldn't even be a thought in your mind of this being a possibility, and the fact that it is, you're probably right. Opie says thank you. I felt sure, and then when we talked and he just dismissed me, I questioned myself. It's nice to have reassurance. So it was a couple of days after this that OP updated the post and says, when I wrote that first post, I felt sick, confused, and honestly ashamed. I didn't think anyone would even read it. let alone respond. But I did get responses, a lot of them, and something about that, being seen in a situation I've been quietly drowning in, shifted something in me. I didn't give him another chance because I still couldn't believe what was happening. I gave him one because part of me still wanted him to redeem himself. I wanted him to see how scared I was, how small he'd made me feel, and do something decent for once. After that first night I posted here, I thought maybe if I brought it up again, calmly, and gave him a real opening to be honest, he might finally do the right thing. Instead, he doubled down. This time he implied it might be his daughter, an 8-year-old girl. He shrugged and said, "Kids do weird stuff like that. Maybe she's been playing a trick on you." When I tried to bring up how unsafe and confused I felt for months, how he used to leave my food out on purpose when he was mad, how he pushed me to drop both work and school, how isolated and anxious I've become, he brushed it all off. Said they were just normal relationship disagreements that could have been worked through if I communicated better. It was so dismissive, it actually stunned me. I realized in that moment that nothing I said would ever matter to him and never had. So I dropped it. I smiled, I pretended to believe him. I told him it was probably all just in my head. I didn't expect anyone to respond when I reached out. I've been so cut off from everything, but one of them did, pretty much immediately, like she was waiting to hear from me again. She told me I could crash on her couch for a few weeks while I find a job back in my home state. Probably bartending or waitressing again. I don't care. I just needed out. She waited for me at a restaurant nearby. All I had to do was text her the second he left to drop his daughter off with her mum. The moment that door closed behind him, I grabbed everything I could carry, just a couple of bags, and left all the big stuff behind without even looking back. It took 6 hours to get back home, but I'm here now. I'm safe. My body already feels different. Of course, I've already gotten texts, his daughter's mum, her family, asking where I've gone and begging me to come back, or saying the kid will miss me, that I was so good with her and they need help. And yeah, I will miss her too. I really will. She didn't ask for any of this. I'm not doing this for anyone else anymore. I'm doing this for me, for the version of me who used to have friends, who used to go out and had a whole future planned. Thanks to everyone who commented and who reminded me that being scared in your own home isn't normal. You all helped me to find the nerve to leave. This will be my only update on Reddit, probably, but if anything else exciting happens, maybe I'll come back to this throwaway account and let you all know. Lol. Electronic says, proud of you. Glad you got away safely. Don't respond to any of them and focus on healing. Phoenix says, heavy on this. It's sad that there is a child involved, but she will be the excuse used to get you to communicate. Possibly meet up. Please don't. It's best to block them on everything so you can start healing and move forward with your life. You don't know what he's told them, and unless it impacts your life in a real way, job, housing, etc., it doesn't matter. When breakups happen, especially in situations like this, people tend to become mentally stuck longer because they start hearing inconsistencies or outright lies that X is telling. The need to argue your case / tell your side is strong, but someone told me something a long time ago that I initially took the wrong way. But understanding it in context has helped me tremendously. Everyone eventually becomes the villain in someone else's story. You're human. You can be the best human in the world, but you will still be the bad guy in someone's story. It's inevitable. Bump into someone and make them spill their drink, you apologize, but you still may be the villain when they retell it. She told me that because I was so bogged down in my side, being heard after leaving an abusive relationship, that it was as if I was still in it. Mentally, I was. Protect your peace and block them. Don't let him or his family / friends steal another moment of your peace. Another commenter says, and that girl who helped you? That's amazing. She deserves a hug from every damn person on Reddit. Opie says she is amazing. I couldn't believe how quickly she was down to come so far to get me. Commenter says, huge congrats OP. To anyone reading this who thinks it's been too long to ask a friend for help, the real ones will show up no matter how long it's been. And I wonder how much the friend already knew about this relationship or heard about this relationship and went with some of the advice that we've heard in previous abusive relationship stories of just sitting back, leaving the door open, so when they do reach out, you can immediately be on their side, which, is an absolutely amazing thing to do for someone. That friend sounds like a great person, because the amount of gaslighting in this one story is pretty shocking. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Fresh Peanut 3492. It says, my 22 female boyfriend 22 male keeps letting his friend 24 male come on our dates. Okay, how we got into this predicament in the first place is that my boyfriend just really likes his friend, Liam. He's like a brother to him. He saved his life once, etc. But he's on all our dates. I even brought one of my single friends on a date so we could double, and Liam and her don't date, so that failed. I've honestly asked my boyfriend why Liam is on our dates, and he says that Liam is lonely and has nobody else, and he has no siblings or girlfriend. But then my boyfriend kind of guilts me because, I know this sounds awful, Liam is the fucking package for guilt. His mum died when he was young, then his dad and him don't talk anymore, so Liam just doesn't have anyone else to talk to. I honestly think my boyfriend is guilt tripping me, and I don't think I can do this relationship anymore. If nothing changes, I'm leaving. This has gone on for 3 months. Like, sure, I feel bad for Liam, but I don't really know him, and it's not my problem. It's also not just dates. Movie nights, he's here. Going to the mall, he's there. Where is he not? Also, I know this sounds made up, I still can't believe it, but it is very much real. And I basically just need validation that it's okay to break up with my boyfriend over this. Suki says to the OP in this, it's okay to break up. You didn't sign up to be the third wheel in your own relationship. He can spend as much time with Liam as he wants, as a single dude. Another commenter says, before ending it, you are fully validated in doing so based on your post. Have you put your foot down? Why don't you plan dates and tell him his friend is not invited, period? Opie says, I have, but as I said in the post, he always guilt trips me into letting him come. Saying this out loud kind of just made me realize he's manipulative. I could maybe understand helping a friend out every now and then, letting them come with you on the occasional trip, but not at the detriment to your own relationship. When someone's telling you, why is he coming on our dates all the time? I don't really want him there every single date. Maybe one every so often, if he's in a bad place or whatever. But coming from this friend's point of view as well, that's got to be awkward, right? I would have loved to have known what some of these dates are. What are we talking about here? Cinema? Little park picnic? Restaurants? What? They're all quite intimate things, so, it's kind of strange. But OP edits that post and says, I called my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend to meet up, and I'm gonna break up with him. I'm gonna tell him the exact reason honestly. I swear if Liam is there though, I'm not considering the possibility of not breaking up with him. It's not even just because of Liam, it's that he manipulates me into letting Liam come. Then OP updates the post and says, I broke up with my ex. I'm gonna call him Xavier. I went to where we agreed to meet up, and guess who he brought with him? You guessed it, Liam. I was very annoyed at this point. I told him I wanted to speak with him privately, and he brings fucking Liam. It's very uncomfortable to break up with someone in front of their best friend, but I was too pissed. I told him, I said I wanted to speak privately. He said, say it in front of Liam. Eventually, I just get annoyed and say, that's it. I don't want Liam always here in our private life, on dates, everywhere. He basically said, remember what I told you about Liam's circumstances, blah blah blah. I said something like, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck about what Liam's going through right now. This is about me breaking up with you. Meanwhile, Liam is just standing there, looking confused. I'll get back to this later. So we basically get into a fight in this park, and it gets to the point where I tell him that he manipulates me into not kicking Liam out of our dates, and about everything he told me Liam went through. Like a brother to Xavier, saved Xavier's life, dead mum, dad's absent, no siblings, friend or girlfriend. And Xavier looks like he's got caught or something, and Liam gets angry and saying what do you tell her? This is all really funny and really awful at the same time. It turns out, none of what Xavier told me was true. Liam has a fiancé, has a real brother and sister, and his mum isn't dead. So anyway, definitely broke up with Xavier. Like 40 minutes later, Liam DMs me, basically saying that Xavier told Liam that I wasn't comfortable being alone with Xavier, and that he thought I wanted him to be on the dates. Sir, what? He said the reason why he agreed is because his fiancée is living in Europe to finish up her studies abroad program, and he had nothing better to do. So Xavier just flat out is a liar. Glad I broke up with him. Mad I got lied to, but oh well. This was honestly not a turn of events I was expecting, and I have to get it out somewhere. But why Xavier? Why did Xavier do this? Why has he been lying all this time? A lot of people in the comments speculating an art room situation. You have to Google art room Reddit if you don't get the reference. And even people not mentioning the art room are just saying that Xavier wants to get with Liam. But what do you guys make of this situation? What do you speculate? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's have another story. And our next story comes from the best of no updates from Inevitable Trip 3538. And it says, am I the arsehole for not cancelling my plans after my boyfriend learned about his diagnosis? I, 25 female, work in event planning, so I always get invites or tickets to go to high-end events. There was a huge event coming up that I was really excited to go to. I asked my boyfriend, 27, 3 days before the event to accompany me, and he said yes. So originally the plan was my boyfriend, my stepsister, and myself. On the day of the event, he said he had a doctor's appointment, so he isn't sure if he can still attend. I said no problem, and I waited for him to return home. A couple of hours later, he texted me and said he had something to tell me. I got worried and called him immediately. I asked if everything was okay, and he said that he was diagnosed with anemia, so he'll have to take supplements. I expressed how sorry I was and spoke to him for about 2 hours, gave him pep talks, told him I'm here if he needs me, reassured him that I will always love him, etc. I then asked if he would still like to attend the event with me to take his mind off things, to which he responded that he doesn't like the artist performing, so he'd rather go to another event. I said no problem, I will go with my stepsister alone. He got upset and hung up. I called him back, but he started an argument about how I'm selfish for going out while he's going through something. I told him that I already made the plans with my stepsister and I can't back out now as she's depending on me. I also don't drink, so I would have been the sober driver, and if I didn't go, she couldn't. I told him that this event is the only event my sister really wanted to attend, and I promised her that I would take her months prior. I even told him I'll see him the next day, and he said be safe and hung up. I got to the event around 11 and spent the entire event alone, just sitting down and watching the show by myself, having food and drinks. When I returned home around 2 a.m, I called him and he was awake playing video games. His first words were, "Look who cares about me again." I said, "I'm too tired for this." And he responded by saying that of course I'm tired. I went out without him knowing he's upset. But I love partying and meeting new people so much that I didn't think to stay with him on the phone. I told him he's being ridiculous and I would have stayed if it were just us who planned to go. He said my priorities are off and that I'm an ignorant arsehole. Keep in mind, I don't attend parties unless it's with my family and I only attend events a few times a year. So, am I the arsehole for not staying on the phone with him and attending the event instead? Material Profit says to this one, when I saw the title, I expected it to be cancer, some kind of degenerative disorder or something requiring major surgery. Anemia is generally a completely treatable condition that has no impact on quality of life, and unless the doctor referenced a concern about a more serious condition, it's reasonable to assume that supplements are all that is needed at this point. It sounds more like he's using it as an excuse to get out of something he didn't want to do, and taking it a step further to try and manipulate you, not the arsehole. Username Taken says, when my doctor told me to take iron pills and vitamins, I was like, okay, and told my husband, and he was like, okay. And then I got some iron pills and vitamins and took them, and everyone was, say it with me, okay. Evil Finch says, anemia, and he behaves as if he got the death sentence. OP must have self-control to not laugh in his face. Or maybe this is how he always reacts and she was used to it. I have the image in my head of how they told him in the doctor's office. Everything came back fine, just a little anemia. And he broke down sobbing, threw himself on the ground, raised the arms to the ceiling and yelled, "Why, God, why?" Part of me was like, I wonder if he really had a doctor's appointment and he just didn't want to go to that event. And then in turn didn't want her to attend as well, so came up with all this stuff. I mean, might not be the case, but anyway, I totally get it. Anemia is certainly not pleasant. I was still like talking to him for 2 hours about it, giving him pep talks and all this kind of stuff over it. I was just like, come on, man. Coupled with the bloody sash you get on the phone later on after he's been gaming all night. Look who cares about me again. I was like, oh, fuck that. I have to say that would get right on my tits. But what do you guys make of this situation? What do you think's going on? How would you deal with it? Maybe got a different opinion on the matter. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time, it always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so, so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.